pump that bass. Get down. Man, I'm feeling the groove now. Y'all DJ, pump that bass. Get down.
Get a kick out of this because I know he's a bodyguard, former bodyguard, I believe, a professional wrestler, and he's got a book out, and he used to bodyguard for Snoop Dogg, which I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. On the line with us right now, we got Tyrus. Hi, Tyrus. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
I am wonderful. So, I saw in the headline, it said professional wrestler, former bodyguard for Snoop Dogg, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sure there's a lot of great stories to tell. How long were you, or have you been a professional wrestler?
Since I started that dance, 2006, so a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
And then were you Snoop Dogg's bodyguard before that, or while you were wrestling?
Well, I was before, and I was go in 2008, so I had a 2-year hiatus where I went back to work bodyguarding for Snoop, and that's when I was coaching his youth football team, and I really climbed the ladder with the team, and that's when him and I were at our closest as far as a bodyguard and his boss can possibly be.
Hey, did he hire you before he knew you? And what did you expect? When you're working for Snoop Dogg as a bodyguard, I mean, did you expect it to be, pretty dangerous?
No, you don't. If you think about those bodyguarding anybody, it's dangerous. Because then it's usually the stars. It's the guys with a lot of money who want to be known. It's more dangerous to bodyguard them because they try to get into stuff. Like I said, Big Papa, Snoop's head of security, and Stephen Keys, which was his second. They brought me on. Worked with Stephen Keys at Saddle Ranch, and I had a reputation. I've had a lot of nicknames in my life, but at the time my nickname was Sandman because I put a lot of guys to sleep. So that reputation, and they had saw me one night throw somebody out of a club in a fancy fashion, and they said, hey, we want that guy on our squad. So then Keys said, hey, they want to bring you in to work nights with Snoop. And it kind of went very fast, very quickly. I wasn't there to be Snoop's friend. I wasn't there to smoke with him. I was there to do my job at a high level, and I really wasn't interested in talking to him other than when he asked me to do something. And the one big thing that in bodyguarding, and not just bodyguards, managers, publicists, all that stuff, they get around the star and his shine kind of gets on them, so they get a little recognition,
right?
And they forget about them. It's not about you. And bodyguarding's tough. Because you wear a lot of hats, and none of them are yours. You're a butler, you're a janitor, you're a cook, you're a driver. You're a conscience. You have you're a secretary. You wear. It's not all glory. It's not the Wild West. You're not jumping in front of people and stuff like that. And honestly, Snoop's a boring guy. He likes to play Xbox, and he likes to be around his family. And he likes to go food shopping at 7-Eleven and Denny's, which I hope he's not doing anymore. But
hey, Tyrus, where did you learn the skill of being a bodyguard? We had a good friend of ours who actually used to do some work for us, and had a lot of training and stuff like that. And there is a lot more to it than you would ever think. Did you have training, or did you kind of learn on the job?
I protected quarterbacks for a living, so. Being an offensive lineman, you are a bodyguard, and you have to save a bodyguard from 11 monsters who want to hurt him.
Right.
So, and I had I had a lot of nicknames in my life, but one of the things in football I used to get called Show Doc all the time, because I would have the ability to put a hand on the guy right in his chest and put him on his butt. So. I kind of looked like I was doing some kind of show, like I was a samurai shogun afterwards. So I'd always show him the hand. It's not me, man. It's just the hand. I don't know what it is. And just kind of went to that mentality. And a rough upbringing. Had been in 2 million fights, so I might as well get paid to do it.
Right.
So, and it was just kind of it's not for everybody. It's not easy, and you have to improve. And I was surrounded by a great group of guys when Cornelius Harrell and Stephen Keys and Tiny Winston Francis, and everybody was, even the late great Michael Clark Duncan, he was a bodyguard in our crew.
Oh, that's right.
Before he became, he was like my first or second bouncing gig was at the Roxbury, and he was there, and he always used to wear these skin-tight suits, and I'd just be like, man. And then he got the Roxbury movie and didn't know us anymore. But, whatever. It's all good.
A question for Tyrus, Ryan.
Yeah, so being a bodyguard on one level is already pretty tough, but being Snoop Dogg's bodyguard has to be a little bit tougher just because the availability of the secondhand smoke, let's say, and you got to have your head on a swivel. Is there ever a time where you're like, oh man, something's going down, but damn, I am high?
No, that's actually a dumbass question, to be honest with you. Like that'd be like someone can't do their job because of secondhand smoke. I never smoked with Snoop. I was professional. And you can't do your job if you're smoking or drinking or taking photos. Snoop wouldn't have guys around. Like, we had bodyguards to do that. One time the bodyguard woke him up at 4 a.m. to take a picture with him for his Facebook or something like that. And as soon as I saw it, I walked him out, and he was done. Like, you can't. As laid back as Snoop is, he is one of the most sought after human beings on the planet, and there are people who love him, and there's people who always want to hurt him. So you are always, anytime you go anywhere, there's a reason why there was 3 of us. It got to the point, even with the Suge Knight incident with being Suge Knight in New Orleans, I got to the point where he would travel with just me because I did not play those games, and I never would even think about smoking with.
Well, to be quite frank, though, I don't think it was a dumb question for Ryan because what he's saying is, but if you're around someone who's smoking a lot of marijuana, you might get the secondhand smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not smoking.
Yeah,
you don't mean to be.
Let me ask you a question, man. If you want to be silly, we can be silly.
I'm not being silly. Why you being a dick, man? Why you being a dick?
Yeah, bro. I wouldn't hire you as a bodyguard.
That was just a good question. If you're around people who are smoking pot, sometimes you have secondhand high, and it was just a question.
No, it's not.
That's a good question.
No. Have a good day, man.
Hey, get out of here, what a goofball. What a dick. I'm sorry about the curse. What a dick. That was a good question, Ryan. Sorry, I got your back there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I was like, that seems like a legitimate question.
That was a legitimate question. Yeah. If you're around someone who's smoking a lot of marijuana and you're standing there you're going to get secondhand smoke. You might feel high. What was wrong with that question?
I've heard people do interviews where they've had like Snoop Dogg come on set for something, and then like they've talked about how like the smoke was the people that didn't smoke, the smoke was so ever present that they did generally get a little bit hot.
Well, I mean, am I wrong? Was that not a good question, Carlos?
It was funny.
I thought it was a good question.
Yeah, he obviously is pretty sensitive to that.
This guy takes himself super serious.
I guess he's like a big old Fox News Trumper. Like, within the first 3 minutes, he talked about being a Sandman. Is this guy a professional fighter? Did he ever get in an MMA? Was he ever in UFC?
I think
he was professional wrestler. He was in the WWE. He did make it to WrestleMania in 2012. He used to wrestle under the name Funkasaurus.
But he was sensitive to that. I didn't think it was that. I think he asked it.
That was a good question, and you roll with it and you answer. Why the second he told you it was a dumb question, I'm like, why are you being a jerk? Like, to me, this guy was a nobody. I just because it was a bodyguard with Snoop Dogg, I thought you guys would get a kick out of talking to him.
Well, I wouldn't want to talk to that guy.
I didn't know who he was. I mean, like,
you gotta talk to the guy that got fired. That guy's probably got better stories.
Probably cool as hell.
What guy?
The guy that got fired.
The guy that he fired for taking a selfie with him.
Oh my God! Why did he get so mad because you asked that question?
You know what? You know what it was, Russ?
What?
Here's what it is. Game recognizes game. So you got this guy, he's all buffed up, he's got his chest out. Then you got Russ on the one side, he's got his chest out. And then baby Ryan asks a stupid-ass question in the middle of all of it. And then the guy's like, Ryan, you're stupid, which I think is really funny because it's true.
That made me mad when
No, I'll fight you for Ryan.
I'll defend your honor. Russ defended your honor.
I appreciated that, to be quite honest.
Why didn't you say anything back to him? Why didn't you say, hey, Dick? I was like, Daddy Russ had to defend you.
How funny is it? I'll pick on Ryan all I want. I will not let anyone else do it. That pissed me off. I'm like, what? I'm like Ryan asked a really good question.
Thank you, Daddy Russ. Thank you so much. I never had a Daddy stick up for me, and I was so happy. Thank you, Daddy Russ.
Why was that a bad question? If you're in a room full of people who are smoking marijuana,
the man is literally one of the biggest things he's known for. And I imagine when you say you're a driver, you got Snoop and doing Snoop stuff in a car. It's gonna happen.
If you go back into like the way he was describing it and everything, I think he thinks that we weren't taking him seriously, and he was trying to emote that being a bodyguard is super serious.
Oh, it's so
to the
serious.
point.
Here's what I think.
To the point
Here's
where.
what I think.
Go ahead. What?
New Year's Eve, 2022. No, what is it? 2020? No, 2023. New Year's Eve. Russ versus whoever.
Hardcore match.
Are you high right now?
Wrestling match. Downtown. Snoop Dogg's team versus Ryan Holmes' team. Baby Ryan comes out in a diaper, and he's like,
"Hey, Daddy Russ, help me! Daddy Russ, help me!"
I honestly thought it was going okay. I thought, well, that's a pretty cool interview. The guy, he'd done some bodyguarding, whatever. I didn't know anything else he had done, but I thought, oh, this is going good. And then Ryan asked the question. He's like, that's a pretty stupid question. I'm like,
he said it was a stupid-ass question.
Dumbass question. Aggressively dumbass, too.
He called him an idiot, too. He said, you're an idiot. You're asking that dumbass question.
Yeah.
People with no sense of humor. I don't understand.
I got pissed off.
He called him a dumb, stupid idiot. You fool.
Not. It wasn't all of that.
No? Okay.
You called him a dumb, stupid R-word.
This is honestly, just remember this, folks. 10% of people are not going to like you. He listened to your voice, and he was like, I don't like this guy. He's a dumb idiot, and then he called you the dumb idiot, like, 'cause it really wasn't that
It was
far
an
off.
innocuous question.
It was a pretty simple for him to be like that mad, but maybe this is K-Fab or whatever. Maybe he's living it. Maybe we're supposed to go back and forth. Maybe we'll do a match with them.
No, he hung up on us.
Yeah, he hung up.
An Angel. What if this is a complete work? Russ has it already set up.
There it is.
Wrestle this guy.
He broke his phone.
The whole thing is already put together. And then Ryan was supposed to at least argue back, but Ryan blew it, as he always does. And then Russ had to jump in.
Well, I was waiting for him to say something funny, like, 'cause for somebody to go that aggressive over something so innocuous, I was like, okay, he's gonna go with like some kind of like the
Ryan,
food
you gotta
guy
stand
who
up
yelled
for
at me. I'm like, maybe that's your stick, you know?
Right. I mean, what you say is, oh, you know what? A lot of people think that, but no, I never actually got high. I'm keep my mind on what I do. There's all kinds
Ryan,
of ways
next
you
time
answer
you got to double down and you go, you thought that question was stupid. Here's an even dumber question.
Oh, yeah.
How in the hell did you write a book?
Yeah.
Man, you should have jumped on his ass immediately. The second you said that was a stupid question, like, I'm not. Who was the guy that came in with, this is your show. This is not his show. You tell him about his ass. Hey, I'm gonna hang up. Nobody knows who the hell you are anyway. And you know it's a stupid question.
But it's also we have a relationship with the person that books this stuff. I don't want to like be.
No.
But I already got yelled at by Jody Sweeten's handler yesterday.
That's true, you did. But the thing is that this guy was a guest on our show, and then you ask a question, and he calls you a stupid, dumbass, ugly guy. That was wrong.
We did not say ugly.
But Ryan is a stupid, dumbass, ugly guy.
No, then that's fine. But when he called him the booger picker,
that was unnecessary.
You must watch this show.
I was listening to him like,
Here's how I know it's a work, Carlos and Angel.
Okay.
Because Russ and Ryan both got waxed yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They both wanted to show off yesterday.
Yeah, hardcore match.
And then they're
hardcore.
like, oh, let's do the waxing so we look really cool. So when the guy calls in and we start this fight, that's really manufactured, we can get it. And then Ryan instead of look, if somebody called in this show and started talking to me like that, Ryan, or anybody else on the show, we would have adjusted it.
I think Magic City Mayhem in our chat got it best. He said Ryan just had his Chris Rock moment. And,
Hey Ryan, I am the knight who will fight for your honor. I'll be your hero. You've been dreaming.